So João started the project. He contacted me after reading my book, and we are here 2.5 years or 3 years later in this room with you guys. João, what did you get out of the whole process? Where are you now from where you started?
Well, I'm in the land planting trees. No, it's been an incredible journey. Thank you, Daniel, first of all, for inspiring this whole thing, and it's been an incredible journey. I've been able to, I was working in advertising for many years and doing kids shows and, trying to convince people to buy stuff that they didn't need, so it's certainly refreshing to shift towards something that seemed meaningful. I think what I got out of it was to really, put my actions and whatever the money, where my mouth is, and to be able to start walking the talk. And the film allowed me to obviously be in touch with amazing people that have amazing knowledge, people like Paul Stamets and all the people that are here, but many others that are not in the film. And it allowed me to build on something that is now being put in place through Ciclo.org, which is a nonprofit I have with Luis, dealing with the Brazilian Cerrado, which is a region that has 33% of the biodiversity in our country and is pretty much been forgotten and left aside because all the focus is in the Amazon. So we're doing work there, and so I think that, among many things about, I've had spiritual growth myself by doing this, by being in touch with all these people, but also, putting actual work into action. And I hope that that's what people get out of this film, is that, there's a lot we can do, and there's a lot that we can do as individuals, as communities, just by meeting our neighbors and, cooperating with them, and not buying bottled water, carry your water around, and, don't give in to the privatization of everything, and value, the beauty in life, the connection that we can have in between people. So I'd like to, ask you a similar thing, Daniel. What did you get out of the experience? And
yeah, well, like you, it was an incredible experience just to interview, so many people. I think we interviewed over 100 people, and really got a very strong sense of this new paradigm and all of these solutions that really are available now. It's just a question of kind of turning the cultural focus in this direction. And that's why personally I'm so thrilled to have this here with so many people in the media, because I really do think the media plays like a critical role in sort of changing the direction of where people are paying attention. And I think that the media, unfortunately, has, there was that 2012 film by Sony that gave this apocalyptic view. We're flooded with negative images, apocalyptic images, where a lot of the media promotes a kind of, we jokingly call hedonistic alienation. We like hedonism. What was your word for it?
Hedonic engineering.
We're all for hedonic engineering, but I think we can let go of the alienation at this point and actually find more pleasure in kind of working to restore some of the systems that our modern way of life has kind of corrupted and debased at this point. So it thrills me to share that message with my community in New York. This is where I'm from. We have time to take some questions from the audience. We're going to make sure that you really just ask questions, no statements or back here?
No statements. So try to keep it brief and as a question.
Hold on. Mike's coming your way.
Hi. I'm wondering if Paul Stamets and Sting have ever considered working together to clean up the oil spills in Ecuador, being that you both do similar work.
Well, it's the first time we've met.
Yeah. Glad to meet you.
Hi, how are you? Give me that. Can you smoke it?
I'll talk to you later.
Okay. It's a good idea.
I think what the Sting has is an enormous voice. In my latest book, Mycelium Running, I was telling him that Fields of Gold was one of my inspirations. And so I think that these cultural voices that we have can amplify the ecological message. So we all have responsibilities. So I'm honored by your question, but I can't speak for Sting. So.
Before we take another question, I just wanted to give a shout out to Alex Gray and Allison Gray. Alex's work was definitely an inspiration for us.
Definitely as an artist, and I think Dustin, who's our art director.
Dustin Lindblad, yeah, she did all the graphics, totally amazing.
But definitely Alex was an inspiration for all the animation in it, so I'd like to acknowledge that. A lot of people ask us, is that Alex Gray? And it's like, we're not trying to rip you off or anything.
Another question? Mark over there? Fungi Perfecti.
There's two. There's fungi.com and lifeboxcompany.com. 1 week, folks. We'll send you a free Lifebox. So no, after 1 week, we can't do the entire New York City because this could go viral.
Hi, thanks. I was wondering what the interface is, or your views, any of you, or you, Daniel, in terms of group actions, community actions for different public policy initiatives, how people can come together to influence the system. And I'm specifically asking, too, as a New Yorker, because we have a whole situation going on with our water supply, potentially, with gas drilling coming to New York State. And I was very happy, Paul, to hear about the mushrooms. I'm Allison Roslevy. I've interviewed you in the past, actually. I'm a health reporter for the Huffington Post. But what about public policy and taking action? I'd love to hear your views on how that fits in. Or is the system so broken that we just don't want to coalesce and do that?
I don't think it's an either-or scenario. I mean, we need both. I mean, there are great organizations like Move On who are trying to influence policy on that level. I felt like I had a certain constituency of people who are interested in non-ordinary consciousness, and felt like the first thing I wanted to do was gather that constituency together. That's one reason why we started Reality Sandwich and Evolver. And now, we're incorporating all these other elements, and if we can grow to critical mass, yeah, I think the idea would be to find the constructive ways to take action. But we've also seen that protesting just against things is not very effective. It's more that we need to figure out what we can rally for at this point. And certainly the water issue in New York is a prime one. In fact, our next Evolver Spore, which is our monthly meeting, is on water. So we'll be discussing those issues all around the country and abroad also.
Yeah, and I think Ingrid might be here. She talks about, she is here, and she's been working with permaculture in New York, and the whole idea of she talks briefly in the film about harvesting water in New York City. I mean, yes, we do have to be come together and as a civil society and request things from the people that we elect, because voting is not just something you should do every 4 years. You should be on the back of those guys because we still live in this paradigm. But at the same time, you can be developing things on your own where and even if it's not legal, where you harvest rainwater, where you build within your community a sort of resilience that allows you for to survive in tough times. So I think both things have to go together. There.
Ayahuasca, the water supply. Over there, Carlos. Carlos, back there. Right there.